And a very pleasant good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. The Klamath Falls Falcons return home to Kiger Stadium after 15 games away, and they bring home a 17-4-1 record to take on the Grants Pass Diggers, who enter 4-12 overall in the season, and they are 0-10 in area play. Of course, the Falcons coming off a runner-up finish at the Alaska 5-2-9 Mid-Season Classic in Anchorage, Alaska, where they lost the championship game 1-0 for Grants Pass. Coming into this game, well, they are winners. Their last time out, a doubleheader sweep of the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps. So Grants Pass looking to continue on their winning ways. The Falcons look to return to winning ways today in front of a home crowd at Kiger Stadium. An area doubleheader begins at 5:30. We're going to step aside real briefly. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the starting lineups for both teams, tell you a little bit more about the teams and their season so far. Get ready for first pitch, which is right around the corner. So stick around for Klamath Falls Falcons baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Josh Eldridge, glad to be back with you here from Kiger Stadium in Klamath Falls as the Falcons get ready to take on the Grants Pass Diggers in an area doubleheader. 15 days away from home, or 15 games, rather, away from home. The Falcons are ready to play ball in front of the home crowd here at Kiger Stadium. Before they do, let's go ahead and introduce you to the lineups for both teams. And we'll start with the visitors today, the Diggers from Grants Pass. Leading off for them is their third baseman, Tyler Meek. Jair Dominguez, the center fielder, bats second, followed by Blake Zamora, the pitcher, hitting third. Cruz Carnes is the designated hitter. He bats fourth for Grants Pass, followed by Ryan Glenn, their first baseman. Eli Dominguez is the catcher, batting sixth for Grants Pass. Skylar Stanislew in right field, batting seventh. Easton Schmidt is the shortstop. He bats eighth for the Diggers, and Nevin Diotti is their second baseman. He bats ninth for Grants Pass. They're going up against Hayden Poor on the mound for the Falcons. We'll take a look at him in just a little while, but just to give you an idea, successful time for him last time out against the Grants Pass Diggers. He'll hope to replicate that today at home. The lineup behind Hayden Poor goes like this. Leading off is in center field, Max Price. Connor Shively, the shortstop, bats second, followed by Jacoby Takini, the catcher, batting third. Colin Takini is at second base. He hits cleanup, followed by P.J. Safford, the third baseman, batting fifth. Ian Meyer is the designated hitter, batting sixth. Hitting seventh is Corbin Hamilton at first base. Carson Sims is in right field. He bats 8th for the Falcons, and Chase Barrett is starting in left field, batting 9th for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Today, Klamath Falls in the blue uniforms with red Falcons written across their chest in cursive text and white outline with red numbers across their back with a white outline as well. Their blue caps with the red brim, and the Falcons are in white pants today. For Grants Pass, they are in their traditional tops, the navy blue with the red shoulders. They've got white numbers across their back and a red outline. Diggers across their chest in bold white with a red outline, as well as gray pants for the Grants Pass Diggers, coached by Kyle Garrison, assisted by Marcus Durbin and Zach Morgan. Of course, our Klamath Falls Falcons, coached by Sean Teeters, who's assisted by Joe Tacchini and Craig Connor. Well, the Falcons have taken the field, and we are just about ready for baseball here from Kiger Stadium. Again, it's been 15 days since the Falcons were last home. On June 17th, they defeated the post-58 Crushers, and then they defeated Grants Pass 28-2, 10-7 on the road, a doubleheader sweep of South Medford and Roseburg before their long trip to Alaska, which we'll talk about, a successful trip to Alaska for the Falcons, where they won the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament, and they placed second at the 529 Mid-Season Classic. Falcons now to area play. We can take a quick look at the standings as they appear on your screen on mybasin.com. Central Point still leading the league right now, a 20-1 overall record, 9-1 in conference play. The Klamath Falls Falcons are in second place, followed by North Jackson, South Medford, North Medford, and the Grants Pass Diggers round out the Area 4 standings. So as we get ready for the national anthem, we're going to step aside, and when we come back, it's time for First Pitch on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com as we get ready for first pitch of Falcons baseball. Finally back at home, taking on an area opponent in the Grants Pass Diggers. The right-hander Hayden Poore getting some warm-up tosses in ahead of first pitch. Checking the numbers for him on the season. For Hayden, this is his 6th start of the year, his 7th overall appearance. He carries a 4-1 record in 23 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 20 hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned, and he struck out 23 batters for an ERA of 1.80. And again, he'll be going up against the Grants Pass order led off by Tyler Meek, Jair Dominguez, and Blake Zamora. Grants Pass made up all of players from Grants Pass High School in the 6A Southwest Conference. We'll discuss their prep season as we move along throughout the broadcast today as well, but still struggling to get anything going in area play this summer. They enter with an 0-10 record. 4-12 overall in the season, like I said, fresh off a doubleheader sweep of Roseburg a few days ago. And so they look to continue to find a rhythm against the Klamath Falls Falcons. It's been some time since the Falcons have had an area doubleheader. Could take you back to June 21st. A doubleheader against South Medford, and the Falcons took care of business against South Medford, 15-2 and 12-4 wins. Their one loss in league play coming to Central Point earlier in the summer on the 15th of June, 5-3. But since then, it has been all W's in the conference for the Falcons. As we are ready for baseball, in the right-handed batter's box is Tyler Meek, and the first pitch misses high and in. First pitch at 5:35, a little bit behind the schedule for what was scheduled to be a 5:30 first pitch. As the 1-0 comes in from Hayden Poor. Grounder out to short. Shively comes up with it. The throw on to first is in time, and that is how we get started in the top of the first inning. Connor Shively making the play and retiring Tyler Meek. Around the diamond for the Klamath Falls Falcons. To the left of Shively at third is P.J. Safford. Colin Takini is at second with Corbin Hamilton at first. In the outfield from left to right, it's Chase Barrett, Max Price, and Carson Sims. As a first pitch line drive to right field is going to reach Jair Dominguez at first. And so a one-out base hit for the Diggers brings up their starting pitcher, Blake Zamora. Of course, Jacoby Takini is catching for the Falcons. Didn't get to get that out in time as Zamora gets ready to step in now, batting from the left side. Corner coming in, P.J. Safford playing in, protecting bunt. Another half-step lead off of first for Dominguez. The pitch is a fastball over the heart of the plate, called strike one. Like I said, this will be the third and eventual fourth times these teams meet this season as a doubleheader today. It was a 28-2 win in the opener for the Falcons at Agnew Lytle Field in Grants Pass. They followed that up with a 10-7 win that very same night. So safe to say the offense was really humming last time for the Falcons, but the pitching did well too. Only 2 runs in that opening game, and that was the game in which Hayden Poor got the start. Another fly ball deep to left, but it's foul. And the count is 0-2 to Blake Zamora. Poor looking in, going to get the sign from Takini. Modest lead off of first for Dominguez, and the pitch is going to miss high and away. Count now ball and 2 strikes. Like I said, Poor got the win when these two teams played, and the Falcons scored 28 runs. Poor pitched 5 innings in that game, gave up 6 hits, 1 earned run, and he struck out 3. Pitched a complete game in a 5-inning mercy rule. Here's a weak roller back to the mound. Hayden Poor comes up with it and throws on to first in time. Dominguez does advance to second on the play, but now there's 2 gone for Cruz Carnes. Carnes, the designated hitter, batting for the left fielder Snodgrass. We'll introduce you to the defense. Grants Pass once they take the field, but of course, the pitcher Zamora was hitting for himself a moment ago. First pitch to Carnes is another ground ball to short. Shively having to charge this one. Comes up with it. The throw takes Hamilton off the bag, but he applies the tag to the runner, and that will end the inning. 1 base hit for Grants Pass in the top of the first, but no runs. They leave him stranded in scoring position. The Falcons get their first crack at Blake Zamora when we come back in the bottom of the first inning. You've got Falcons baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Time to reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at eislerkf.com. That's ISLERKF.com. eislerkf.com.
Getting set for the bottom of the first inning. It'll be the Klamath Falls Falcons' first crack at Blake Zamora. It'll be Max Price, Connor Shively, and Jacoby Takini to lead things off as we take a look at the numbers for Zamora so far this season. This will be his fifth start of the summer in 14 innings pitched, an ERA of 3.5 for the lefty from Grants Pass. He struck out 11 batters in that time, and he's walked 8. So he did get the start last time these two teams played. Didn't make it very far. Didn't make it out of the first inning, in fact, against the Klamath Falls Falcons back on June 18th. He pitched the first 2/3 of an innings, giving up 7 hits, 9 runs. 2 of those were earned against him, though. If that's any silver lining. But again, those 7 hits, the Falcons saw him real well as Max Price takes a first pitch fastball for a strike on the outer third. About 84 degrees here in Klamath Falls. Wind blowing out to straightaway center field, which is nearly directly east. As another pitch finds the zone against Price. The count is 0-2 against Max. Zamora goes back-to-back fastballs. Some gray clouds over the center field fence and hanging overhead here at Kiger Stadium. Anticipation of some storms in a few hours, but hoping that they stay away and allow us to play some baseball. It's the 0-2 missed outside to Price. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. Price settles back in against the lefty Zamora. Working from the windup. Here's the pitch. It's taken in the dirt, and the count is 2-2. To Max Price, was recognized individually at the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. Price was awarded the Big Stick Award, going to the tournament's best offensive player, as that one is popped up behind first base. Glenn going back. It gets over his head and drops behind the first baseman and in front of the right fielder. And so a leadoff single for Max Price is going to have the Falcons a leadoff base runner in the bottom of the first inning. This will bring up Connor Shively. Shively continues to be off to a red-hot start this summer. Even though we're near the halfway point, Shively still playing extremely well. His numbers blow you away at the plate, hitting .493 in his first 73 at-bats. Also leading the team in RBI with 31. Next best would be Colin Dakini with 25. Shively has built out a nice, comfortable cushion in that statistical category. Falls behind 0-1. We've got a quick chat, it looks like, between the umpires, perhaps. Gives us a quick moment to recognize some of our sponsors on mybasin.com. Starting off the top with Gino's Cafe on East Main Street. Open every morning at 6:30, serving their famous breakfast burritos. Those are served all day long, along with their other menu items like their burgers, monthly specials, and other Italian favorites. You can order online at iloveginos.com or have it brought right to you on DoorDash. Count is 0-1 to Connor Shively with a runner aboard at first. That's Max Price after the leadoff single. Zamora delivers the pitch. Price is on the move, and a ground ball sent out towards second. Diatti has trouble coming up with it. Shively beats out the throw, and the throw wound up in the first base dugout anyway. And so it'll allow Price to move up to third, and Shively in at second. Okay, so there you go. Shively reaching on a fielding error and then advancing to second on the throwing error. So that puts 2 men in scoring position for Jacoby Takini. Falcons have an early opportunity at their first run in the ball game against Blake Zamora. The first pitch to Takini. He checks his swing, holds up in time. Pitch missed down and in to Jacoby, and the count is 1-0. So far this season for Jacoby, batting .254. He's got 19 RBI. 1-0 pitch. That one's going to miss high and away to Jacoby. The count now 2-0. After Takini in the order, it's Colin Takini who waits on deck. Zamora looking into his catcher, Dominguez. Eli Dominguez behind the plate. The 2-0 pitch is going to find the zone, looked about knee-high over the plate. Count is 2-1. Tyler Meek at third for Grants Pass. Schmidt at short. Evan Diatti at second with Ryan Glenn at first. We'll go outfield after the 2-1 pitch to Takini. It's a line drive right back to the pitcher. It hits off the glove of Zamora, but he recovers in time to throw Takini out at first. In the meantime, Max Price scores from third, and Connor Shively advances to third. And the Falcons get across their first run of the ball game, now leading 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning. So now Colin gets a chance to bat with a runner at third. Like I said, the team's second leader in RBI. 25 runs batted in this season. At the plate, hitting .355 as he takes a first pitch fastball inside, and the count is 0-1. After Colin in the order, it's P.J. Safford for the Falcons. In the outfield for Grants Pass, Snodgrass is in left, Dominguez in center, and Stanislaw in right. The 0-1 pitch finds the zone, if not a bit upstairs. I believe that was called a strike. Well, we'll change it. A ball and a strike right now, the count to Tacchini. And the offering from Zamora. Two hoppers sent out to second base. Diotti fields it cleanly. He'll throw on to first in time, but a run comes in to score. And an RBI credited to Colin Tacchini, and the Falcons have built out an early 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning. Now 2 away for P.J. Safford. Easy way to manufacture those runs after the leadoff single for Price. They were helped out by a couple of errors from Grants Pass, but once those guys got into scoring position, back-to-back infield ground balls scored each of those runs for the Falcons. Now up 2-0. The first pitch to Safford is fouled back, and the count is 0-1. PJ batting .269 this season for the Falcons. Looking to get on base and start a short new rally. Gets on base to the tune of .405 this season. The 0-1 is going to miss outside. Count is even at a ball and a strike. On deck is Ian Meyer, the team's designated hitter, if Safford finds a way to get on base and continue the inning. Zamora able to work back from the windup now with the bases empty. The pitch is a line drive into center field, and the center fielder Dominguez over to his left a few steps to make the catch and end the inning. But the Falcons do score 2 runs on 1 base hit. One Grants Pass error helps them out, and they leave no runners stranded. They lead 2-0 as we go to the top of the second inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
After 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning, the Klamath Falls Falcons look to protect an early lead against the Grants Pass Diggers. Hayden Poor will have to go through 5, 6, and 7 in the Grants Pass order. That's Ryan Glenn, Eli Dominguez, and Skylar Stanislaw. The Falcons only needed 1 base hit to score those 2 runs in the first inning. Now Poor looking to protect it. Like I said, Poor has been good this season. Probably been most impressed with him out of guys on this pitching staff. Poor didn't get a ton of chances up with the Henley varsity squad during the spring season as he gets across strike 1 against Ryan Glenn, but he has been beyond solid this summer for the Falcons. Like I said, coming in a 1.8 ERA. So another off-speed pitch graces the inside corner, and he quickly gets ahead of Ryan Glenn. And the count is 0-2. Pitch from Poor. This time a bouncer to first. Hamilton comes off the bag to field the ball, then throw on to Poor covering. And a nice play on the right side of the infield to record the first out of the second inning. 3-1 in the book, and this will bring up Eli Dominguez.
Catcher number 4, Eli Dominguez.
Taking a look at Dominguez this season for Grants Pass. He is batting .259 on the summer, and he'll take strike 1. Dominguez, and then Skylar Stanislew on deck. Poor readies for the 0-1 pitch, and it's a chopper right back to the mound. Poor up with it, takes his time on the toss to first, and now there are 2 gone in the second inning. This will bring up Skylar Stanislew. Stanislew batting 194 this season for Grants Pass. Stays tall in the right-handed batter's box and awaits the pitch from Poor. As it's hit foul down the first base side, the count is 0-1. After Stanislew in the order, it's Easton Schmidt. Stanislew, the number 7 hitter for Grants Pass, starting in right field today. As Poor delivers the 0-1 pitch, finds the outside corner on the fastball. The count is now 0-2 to Stanislew. Takini delivers the sign to Poor, already delivering the pitch. Line drive into right field. That'll get down for a base hit. And a 2-out knock for Stanislew will bring up Easton Schmidt. Second hit of the day for Grants Pass comes with 2 away in the second inning. Schmidt batting .212 this year for Grants Pass. Take you back to the 10th game of the season for the Falcons. It was the nightcap of a doubleheader for Grants Pass. Easton Schmidt, well, we'll have to hold this thought as he sends a ground ball to first. Hamilton tries to backhand it. Can't backhand it cleanly, but the ball ricochets over to Colin Takini at second, who comes up with it. Hamilton heads back over to the bag, and, well, 4-3 in the book. Even if it wasn't as conventional, as easy as that, it will be the 3rd out in the second inning. Grants Pass gets a base hit, but they can't do anything with it. They trail the Falcons 2-0, going to the bottom half of the second inning next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At MyBasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Bottom of the second inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Grants Pass Diggers 2-0. The first pitch to Ian Meyer is a swinging strike one. It's Blake Zamora now to the second inning of his start for Grants Pass. Meyer, the designated hitter, awaits the 0-1 pitch. Here it comes from Zamora. It is hit the opposite way, foul, well, out of play, and the count 0-2. To Ian Meyer. Had a productive time last time out against Grants Pass in the 28-2 win. Meyer was 4 for 4 with 2 RBI and 2 runs scored in that contest. Now, though, in a 2-strike count, having to battle against Zamora. Here's the pitch. That one is taken below the knees. A good eye there by Meyer over the plate in a 2-strike count. Wanted to protect, but a good take there by Ian. He'll be followed in the order this inning by Corbin Hamilton and Carson Sims. Zamora with the 1-2 pitch is again hit foul out of play to the parking lot. The count remains 1-2. As a team, Klamath Falls had 26 hits in that 28-run output back on June 18th. 9 runs in the first inning, 8 in the second, 2 in the third, 5 in the fourth, and 4 in the fifth inning. They just could not be stopped on that day. And in a 2-strike count, Meyer will be hit by the pitch. And he will earn a trip to first base for his troubles. And it will bring up Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton was named the tournament MVP at the Alaska 529 Mid-Season Classic, which ended back on Sunday. Hamilton finished the event hitting .455 throughout the week and led the tournament in RBI. Had 6 runs batted in at the tournament and, well, also his work on the mound helped him out in that. He pitched 5 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball in Anchorage, got 7 strikeouts in those 5 2/3 innings. Certainly MVP worthy for Corbin Hamilton. A move over to first. Ian Meyer is back safely. The count is 1-0 to Corbin. Was hung with a no decision in the championship game, was the starting pitcher in that contest, and well, helped the team stay in that game at the time. It was scoreless by the time he left, and a late error hurt the Falcons in that contest, but that's how they lose 1-0 to Madisonville of Kentucky, who were the 5-9 midseason classic champions. The 2-0 pitch on the move is Ian Meyer. A pitch high and away. The throw down is not going to be in time. Yeah, Meyer is safe, stealing second on the 2-0 pitch. And like I said, that one missed outside in a way. Almost worked as a pitch out to try and get Meyer, but he's in scoring position and a 3-0 count to Hamilton. Set is Zamora, the second baseman, Diotti, trying to hold the runner there at second. And that one misses high and in to Corbin. And now there are runners at first and second for Carson Sims. Well, I talk about a guy who had a good day last time the Falcons played Grants Pass. In that big output, Carson Sims probably had the best day. In fact, I don't even think it's up for debate. He was 5 for 6 in that contest with 2 RBIs and 4 runs. First pitch is called a strike. Sims was showing bunt, but takes strike 1. Had a triple and a double in that contest. Just another one of those guys who could not be stopped against Grants Pass back on June 18th. Corners in, still protecting bunt against Sims. Lays it down in front of the mound. It gets by Zamora and rolls to the shortstop position. Everyone's going to be safe. Meek didn't come in, the third baseman, and so that one just continued to roll. Meek was covering third as both runners were on the move. Meyer to third, and so Meek thinking had to cover on that. Hamilton taking second as well. And an infield bunt single for Carson Sims will load the bases for Chase Barrett. Well, Barrett was 2 for 3 back on June 18th, had 2 RBI and a golden opportunity here for Barrett. First pitch finds the outside corner on a fastball. The count is 0-1 to Chase. Lineup card turns over next for the Falcons. Max Price is on deck. Here's the pitch to Barrett. That one misses upstairs. The count is even now at a ball and a strike. Chase was primarily used as a courtesy runner. The team's stay in Alaska, but of course plays that role well. Falcons showed a lot of aggressiveness on the base paths in that event, and Barrett was, well, one of the leaders in that. Swings and misses for strike 2. The count is a ball and 2 strikes to Barrett, who bats .417 on the season for the Falcons. This is only his 5th start, though, as Zamora comes set with the 2-strike offering. It's fouled straight back. The count will remain 1-2. Corners remain in for Grants Pass, so even with nobody out, might be able to see a play made at home if a ball is hit hard to one of the corners for Grants Pass. Middle infield at double play depth, and the pitch from Zamora is looked at for a ball. 2-2. Missed low and away. Dominguez lost it out of his glove for a moment, but didn't roll far enough for the runner Meyer to score from third. Hamilton is at second, and Sims is at first. Aggressive lead at second for Hamilton as the 2-2 is on its way home. Barrett lifts a fly ball into left field. Under it is Snodgrass, makes the catch, and Meyer is tagging from third. And a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Chase Barrett make the score 3-0 Falcons. All the other runners stay put, so Hamilton at second, Sims at first. But give the RBI to Chase Barrett. And then this will bring up Max Price. Price singled and scored his last time up. All right, here is the pitch on the way to Price. Misses high and away. The count is 1-0. Well, Price was another one of those guys individually honored at the 5-9 midseason classic, the Big Stick Award. First Oregon player since Another Klamath Falls player did it back in the year 2000. The 1-0 pitch on the way is going to be called a strike on the outside corner. The count is even 1-1. Brian Kinsman of Klamath Falls was the other Big Stick Award winner from Oregon back in the year 2000. Earned it by, well, hitting for the cycle in a game over there, too. Still the only player to ever hit for the cycle in that tournament's history. So Max Price joining some pretty exclusive company after his stay in Alaska. Sends a two-hopper through the infield and into right field for a base hit. They're waving around Sims to score, or that was Hamilton, rather. He scores from second. Sims pulled up at third. And an RBI single for Max Price makes it 4-0 Falcons. A well-placed base hit there just through the right side of the infield, out of reach of Diotti. And that will put runners at the corners, still with one out in a 4-0 ball game. And in steps Connor Shively. See how aggressive Price winds up being on the base paths, as the first pitch to Shively is going to have to wait. A pickoff move over to first. Zamora had the same thought that I did with second base open. Don't be shocked. You see Price get on the move over there. Max Price is 12 stolen bases, is tied for the team lead. And there he goes. Pitch is called a strike, and Price is into second. And so now two men in scoring position for Shively. Reached on an error and scored last time. That was in the first inning. Team leader in runs batted in. Team leader in batting average. Right guy in the right spot here in the second inning. Here's the pitch to Shively. Misses inside. Count 1-0. Shively won the Gold Glove Award at the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. Was as sure-handed as it got at shortstop in every game of that tournament for the Falcons. It's the 1-1 pitch on the way. It's hit to the right side of the infield. Up with it is the second baseman, Diotti. Throws on to first, and the play is made, but Sims scores from third. And so Shively earning an RBI on that one. 2 away in the inning, and it brings up Jacoby Tacchini with the runner at third. And already 3 runs home in the inning for the Falcons. Tacchini earned an RBI his last time up. He grounded out to the pitcher, but helped get across the first run of the ball game. The pitch to Jacoby misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Tacchini looking to add another one here. Like I said, it was Ian Meyer who started the inning after being hit by a pitch, followed by a Hamilton walk. Sims singled, Barrett had a sacrifice fly, Price had an RBI single, and then you just had Shively ground out to earn himself an RBI as well, as that pitch misses away. The count 2-0. Falcons not needing to hit the ball particularly hard to get across these runs either. Like I said, just being smart on the base paths. The 2-0 pitch will miss down and in. A nice job by Dominguez behind the dish to keep it in front of him, and therefore keeping the runner Price at third. But the count goes now to 3-0. Colin Tacchini is on deck for the Falcons. Set is Zamora, and the delivery. That is right over the middle of the plate, called a strike. Count is 3-1 as Zamora dialed back the velocity a little bit on the fastball, just trying to get one across. Tacchini has to settle back in now. Still in a hitter's count, 3-1, and first base is open. The pitch from Zamora is hit sharply foul down the third base side. And the count is full, 3-2. Zamora going with pretty much the same pitch location on the 3-1 as he did on the 3-0 pitch. But now the count is full with 2 outs. We'll see where he goes now against the right-handed power bat of Jacoby Tacchini. Comes set, and the pitch. That one's hit hard to left field. Snodgrass back a few steps, but is able to make the play and retire the side. The Falcons do score 3 runs in the inning on 2 base hits, and they leave 1 runner stranded. They lead 5-0 as we head to the top of the 3rd inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Josh Eldridge, glad to be back with you here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. Top of the third inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Grants Pass Diggers 5-0. Due up this half inning for Grants Pass, Nevin Diatti, Tyler Meek, and Jair Dominguez. That's 9-1 and 2 in the order for Grants Pass against Hayden Poor, who's cruising right along through 2 innings, about what you'd expect from the right-hander from Henley High School. Hayden Poor will be a sophomore next year. Stands 5'10" on the mound out there. Like I said, as a freshman, didn't play much at the varsity level. From what I've seen from him this summer, would certainly expect that to change coming up next year for Henley. The first pitch is on the way to Diatti. It's a line drive into left field, and one pitch and a leadoff single for Diatti. And that's how the Diggers get things started in the third. Well, if you're going to come back from a 5-run deficit, a leadoff single is a good place to start for Grants Pass. Back to the top of the order now for Tyler Meek. Meek is 0 for 1 in the contest. He grounded out to short his first time up. Pitch on the way from Poor. Goes off speed, misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. Tyler Meek this season for Grants Pass is leading the team in average. As he pops one up in foul territory, Takini has room behind the plate and makes the catch near the first baseline for the first out in the third inning. Now we go to Jair Dominguez for Grants Pass. Dominguez batting .366. That is fourth best for the Diggers this season, and he's already 1 for 1 today. He singled back in the first inning. He takes a slider that slides all the way across the plate for strike one. Started on the inside and broke all the way away from the right-handed hitting Dominguez. Poor uses it to get ahead in the count 0-1. 0-1 pitch on the way. Same pitch and same result. Slider away, strike two. Nice location there from Hayden. Now he can do just about anything after using the off-speed stuff to get ahead 0-2. Poor checks the runner at first before coming set. Now delivers the pitch. It's hit to the third base side. Foul. Looked like he tried to jam him inside with the hard stuff, but Dominguez was able to fight it off and stay alive in the at-bat. Count remains 0-2. On deck is the Diggers pitcher, Blake Zamora. Poor again comes set, delivers the 0-2. Hit in the air towards left center field. Over is the left fielder Barrett. He calls off the center fielder Price to make the catch in the gap for the second out of the third inning. Barrett having to go quite a long way to make that catch. Was hit pretty much right between the left and center fielder, but both of them were there. Barrett made the call and made the catch for that second out. So now we get to see Blake Zamora, the left-handed bat for the Diggers. He's 0 for 1 in this contest. Grounded out to Poor last time up. Runner on the move. Diatti is going to be able to get into second safely as the throw from Takini wound up in center field. It just got by Shively's glove and then blew past Takini. Luckily, though, Diatti stays at second. But now Zamora bats with a runner in scoring position. Zamora, the team's second leading hitter on average, but the team's leader in RBI. He's got 17 so far this summer. By the way, that pitch was called a ball. Now the 1-0 is hit in the air towards left. Another chance for Chase Barrett on the run. He jumps and can't bring it in. It'll get down, and it will score a run. But a great throw in from the outfield stops Zamora from taking second base. And so an RBI single for Zamora scores Diatti despite the great effort from Barrett in left. And Grants Pass is on the board. It's 5-1. We're going to have a courtesy runner come in for the pitcher for Grants Pass. Looks like it'll be number 5, Mason Scott. Cruz Carnes batting now for Grants Pass, 0 for 1 in the contest. He grounded out to short in the first inning. 1 run home for Grants Pass, and they're looking for more as Hayden Poor comes set. The pitch, called a strike, knee-high fastball on the outside corner. Count is 0-1. Poor going with the hard stuff to get ahead of the designated hitter for Grants Pass, and quickly comes set with the 0-1. That one is hit in the air behind the mound. Safford will play it on 2 hops. Fires over to first in time. A nice play there by Safford to record the 3rd out of the 3rd inning. But Grants Pass does score a run on 2 hits. They leave a runner stranded, and they trail Klamath Falls 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Klamath Falls leads 5-1 in the bottom of the 3rd inning against the Grants Pass Diggers. Game 1 of an area doubleheader today between the Falcons and the Diggers. And it'll be Colin Tacchini, P.J. Safford, and Ian Meyer do up this half for the boys in light blue down there on the playing surface here at beautiful and historic Kiger Stadium. Zamora delivers the first pitch to Colin Tacchini. He fouls it off, and the count is 0-1. Colin had an RBI on a ground out in his first at-bat, so 0 for 1, but did his job in the first inning. Helped the Falcons score 2 runs in the first, and they added 3 more in the second to build out their 5-1 advantage. Grants Pass, of course, scoring their single run in the top half of this 3rd inning. Next pitch to Colin, missed high and away. The count is even at a ball and a strike. And here is the 1-1 pitch from Zamora. Misses upstairs. The count is now 2-1. Taking a look at Colin last time these teams played. Might have to wait just a moment ahead of the 2-1 pitch. Here it comes to Tacchini. And might have to wait entirely as he sends a high fly ball into right field. Moving over is the right fielder Stanislaw, and he puts that one away for the out. So 1 away in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and here comes P.J. Safford.
Third baseman P.J. Safford.
Last time these teams met, it was a 10-7 win for Klamath Falls. That was in the nightcap of a doubleheader back on June 18th. Safford in that contest was 1 for 5 with an RBI. First pitch on the way to Safford here as he takes it below the knees. The count is 1-0. Safford in this contest is 0 for 1. He flew out to center field to end the first inning. Zamora readies for the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. Safford hits it in the air towards the second baseman, Diotti. He goes back into the shallow part of the outfield, but can't bring it in. It landed peacefully between the center right fielder and the second baseman, and Safford aboard with a 1-out base hit.
The designated hitter, Ian Meyer.
4th hit for the Falcons in the contest, and it will bring up Ian Meyer. He didn't get a hit last time. He got hit last time, but he came around to score in the 2nd inning, led off after being hit by a pitch. Aggressive lead off of first from Safford. Zamora comes set, takes a look at him, and then checks on him over there. The tag applied, and Safford is back safely. 1, 2, 3. About a 5-step lead for Safford off of first base. After being checked on, it's another half step back, and here's the delivery to Meyer. Misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Meyer scored a couple of runs in these two teams' last meeting on June 18th, but was hitless in that contest. The 1-0 on the way. That is going to miss off the plate outside. The count is 2-0. Corbin Hamilton is on deck for the Falcons. He'll hope to bat with not only one on base, but multiple. But a double play is in order with one away in the bottom of the third inning. 2-0 pitch will miss again, high and away, and the count is 3-0. Although Grants Pass is infield, not playing for the double play. The shortstop, Schmidt, playing shortstop pretty much straight up, and the second baseman, Diotti, cheating a little bit towards the bag, so you still have the hole on the right side of the infield, but the 3-0 is going to miss outside regardless. So Meyer will take a walk, and it will bring up Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton walked his last time up, came around to score. Like I said, was the tournament MVP in the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. Falcons lost the championship game at the Midseason Classic 1-0 against Madisonville from Kentucky. It was actually the third time that the Falcons had played that team from Kentucky during their stay in Alaska. They played them twice at the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament as well, once in the final game of group play up there, which Madisonville won 16-4, and then in the championship game, the Falcons defeated those Rangers 7-1. So the championship game in Anchorage sort of serving as a rubber match between those two teams, and well, Madisonville went home with the spoils and a championship after that win back on Sunday. 1-1 pitch on the way to Hamilton. It's going to miss outside. 2-1, but the Falcons had wins against good competition. The one that jumps out to me was when they defeated Service from Alaska, the defending state champs. They beat them 5-3 in the semifinal of the 529 Midseason Classic. They beat, they didn't beat everybody, but they never lost to a team from Alaska during that whole trip. They beat Palmer 12-1, Wasilla 10-0. They beat South Anchorage 14-2, Chugiak 10-5. The only time they didn't beat a team from Alaska is when they tied Kenai 4-all. As a ground ball sent out towards second, snagged by Diotti, throws on to short for one, and they turn the double play. 4-6-3, started by a nice play by Diotti out at second. It will end the inning. The Falcons get one base hit, and they leave a runner stranded. They still lead by 4 as we go to the top of the fourth inning in a 5-1 ball game next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Set for the top of the fourth inning here from historic and beautiful Kiger Stadium in Klamath Falls. A 5-1 game in which the Falcons lead the visiting Grants Pass Diggers. 5 runs on 4 hits for the Falcons, no errors. They have left 2 runners on base so far. For Grants Pass, 1 run on 4 hits. They've committed 2 errors. They've left 3 runners on base so far. The first pitch was a foul ball off the bat of Ryan Glenn, the number 5 hitter in the order for Grants Pass. He'll be followed by Eli Dominguez and Skylar Stanislaw. The 0-1 pitch is fisted out towards short. Shively up with it cleanly. The Gold Glove winner makes the play, and that is the first out in the 4th inning. It will bring up Eli Dominguez. Wind really starting to pick up here in Klamath Falls. It is blowing pretty considerably all over the place. as the skies turn gray, and again expecting storms in the next couple of hours. Rain looks to hopefully be dodging us for now. Not able to speak for the rest of the weather events that we might see, but the flag, the American flag that's blowing in center field, has been changing directions with about every word out of my mouth since the second inning. So it's really swirling out there. It's going to be tough for outfielders to get a good read on high fly balls today for probably the rest of not only this game, but the nightcap of a doubleheader to come. The 0-2 pitch to Dominguez is, well, pardon me, that was the 1-1 pitch, pardon me there, and the count now, 2-2 strike to Dominguez. It was called a strike, though. Good inside fastball from Poor, and this time Dominguez fouls off the 1-2 pitch. Eli is 0 for 1 today at the plate, grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. And that one is an outside fastball called strike 3. Dominguez goes down looking for the first strikeout for anyone this ball game. It's the second out in the fourth inning, and it brings up Skylar Stanislaw. Wind right now, we're seeing steady about 10, 12 mile an hour winds with gusts up to 15 miles an hour, so there's a good idea of what we're dealing with. As a ground ball through the right side of the infield for Stanislaw, will reach him to first with 2 outs in the fourth. That is his second base hit of the day, following up his performance from the second inning. And it was the same idea there, where he was up with 2 outs and was able to get on base. It brings up Easton Schmidt. We'll have a second chance with a runner on in this ball game. Schmidt grounded out to end the second inning. Pitch is hit in the air, shallow left field. Barrett comes in and makes the catch on the run, and that will end the inning. 1 base hit, but no runs come across for Grants Pass. They trail Klamath Falls 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Klamath Falls Falcons lead 5-1 against the Grants Pass Diggers in the bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be Carson Sims, Chase Barrett, and Max Price due up this half inning for the Falcons. Looking to continue their winning ways in league play. Like I said, 7-1 in the conference so far this summer. Only a couple of games back of Central Point, only because they've played a couple more games than the Falcons. They're 9-1, and of course, those are the teams that have traded losses with each other. We split with Central Point back when they came to Kiger Stadium earlier in the summer. Pitch on the way to Sims, fouls it back. The count is 0-1. After Sims, again in the order, it's Chase Barrett as Zamora readies with the 0-1 pitch. Here it comes. Line drive, left field, right at the left fielder Snodgrass, who makes the catch. Had to leave his feet to do it. A nice play in left field for the Grants Pass player over there, Andrew Snodgrass, for the out. Sims now 1 for 2 in the contest after that fly out. And it brings up Chase Barrett. Barrett without an official at-bat today, a sacrifice fly and an RBI back in the second inning. So doing his job there, but now his job is to try to get a rally started by getting on base. Here's the pitch to Barrett. Chopper sent out to third. Meek plays it on a hop. Throw on to first, takes the first baseman off the bag, but was able to get his foot back on it to record the out. Glenn had to play behind the first base bag and then touch it with his front foot instead of typically stretching towards the baseball. So still goes in the book all the same. 5-3 on the putout. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brings us back to the top of the order for the Falcons in Max Price. 2 for 2 today with an RBI, a couple of singles for Max. As that pitch finds the outside corner against the right-handed hitting Price, the count is 0-1. After Price, if the inning continues, it's Connor Shively for the Falcons. Zamora delivers the 0-1. That one misses off the outside part of the plate. Zamora trying to go back to that same location with the fastball, but that time just a little bit more outside. Evens the count with Price at 1. Next pitch on the way from Zamora. This one's hit in the air towards right field. It will get down by the foul line. Could be extra bases for Price. He takes a big turnaround first, digging for 2, and he will slide in safely. And a 2-out double for Max Price, showing off the wheels. That's a single for most, but a double for Max, and it brings up Connor Shively. He had second base in his mind as soon as it left the bat. For Max Price, that is his 9th double of the summer, and that also gives him the team lead in doubles, edging out Carson Sims, who also had 8 coming into the ball game. Zamora steps off and looks Price back at second. Had a pretty aggressive lead out there, so Zamora's going to want to check on him again as Shively gets ready to swing away with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning and a runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Misses low and away outside. 1-0. Shively reached on an error in the first inning and had an RBI on a ground out in the 2nd inning. 1-0 pitch. Zamora checks on Price before delivering. It's hit in the air, out of play. Count is 1-1. Said earlier that Shively won the Gold Glove Award at the 529 Midseason Classic in Anchorage. He was the first ever Oregon player to earn that honor and was just steady-handed out there at short. Started at shortstop every game of the tournament for the Falcons. Max Price on the move on the 1-1 pitch. Shively lifted into the air behind third base, tough to get to, and no one will get to it. Max Price never stopped moving as he rounds third and comes in to score. And an RBI for Connor Shively, and that makes him 1 for 3 on the day, and his 2nd RBI makes it 6-1 Falcons. And there you go. I was talking about that wind a moment ago that is really swirling around out there. A lazy fly ball behind third. Wasn't an easy ball to get to, I'll give Meek that, but was certainly not made any easier by the wind out there and helping Shively reach base and knock in a run. As Jacoby Takini gets ready with 2 away and a runner aboard at first. Shively on the move. Takini puts a jolt into one to deep left center field. And the center fielder, Dominguez, will get there and make the catch in the gap to end the inning. But the Falcons do score a run on 2 base hits. The RBI single from Shively makes it a 6-1 ball game as we head to the top of the 5th inning next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Time to reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at EislerKF.com. That's ISLERKF.com. EislerKF.com.
It is the top of the 5th inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on MyBasin.com. Klamath Falls leads Grants Pass 6-1 in the first of 2 ball games tonight from Kiger Stadium, weather permitting. Again, gray clouds hang overhead. It's warm, and so put the thought in your head that you could see a lightning delay at some point today, whether it's the next few minutes or later on. But it could be a possibility, and the rain could be on the way in the next 15 or so minutes as well. Again, the wind is really swirling around out there. We'll do our best to keep you posted on the weather situation as we find out. It's mostly up to the home plate umpires, or the both umpires, I suppose. But right now we're staying dry at the very least, as the first pitch is in the zone against Nevin Diotti, and the second pitch misses. The count is even to Diotti, who's 1 for 1 in the ball game. He singled back in the third inning and came around to score what stands as Grants Pass's lone run so far. Checks his swing on the 1-1 pitch, but chases the off-speed stuff outside of the zone. Count is a ball and 2 strikes to Diotti. Poor delivers and has a line drive hit right back to him. Aiden Poor snags it, and that will be the first out in the 5th inning. He's been active today on defense. I feel like he's had to make a play almost every inning. And Poor add another one to the collection here to start out the 5th. Back to the top of the order, it's Tyler Meek for Grants Pass. The first pitch to him is dropped in for a strike. Count is 0-1. In the 10-7 win for Klamath Falls back on June 18th, Meek was 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Grants Pass had 11 hits in that contest, was a little bit more tightly contested than the first time these two teams met this season, to say the least, as the 1-1 pitch misses high and in to Tyler Meek. Jair Dominguez is on deck for Grants Pass. The 2-1 is fouled back, and the count is even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Poor continuing to work out there in this start for the Falcons. He's thrown well. He's given up 5 hits and a run. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Got Meek to chase a pitch in the dirt. Throw down to first is there. And that's the second strikeout for Poor today. Brings up Jair Dominguez. Now Dominguez is 1 for 2 today. He singled in the first inning, and he flew out in the third. And here's the pitch from Poor. As it finds the zone, the count is 0-1. Poor goes with the soft stuff to get ahead of Jair Dominguez. 0-1 from Poor is a slow roller out toward short. Shively charging it, up with it. The throw on to first is over the head of Hamilton. Trying to take second base is Dominguez. The throw there is gonna get him. Aggressiveness not paying off for Grants Pass here in the top of the 5th. After the error, the Falcons recover and get out of the inning in order. We'll go to the bottom half of the 5th next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Middle of the order for the Falcons due up in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Colin Tacchini, P.J. Safford, and Ian Meyer for the Falcons going to work against Blake Zamora. Getting ready for the 5th inning of his start. We'll take a check of the line score for Blake Zamora here ahead of the start of the 5th inning. So far for Zamora out there for Grants Pass, 6 hits, 1 run it's earned. He has struck out 1 and, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned. He's walked 2 and struck out none. Was reading the line score there for Poor there at the start, but Zamora has walked 2, as I said, and struck out none. Here's the first pitch to Colin Takini. It's a two-hopper down to third, snagged by the third baseman Meek. Throw on to first is going to short hop the first baseman, can't bring it in. And an error will allow Colin Takini to reach base, and will bring up P.J. Safford. Third error for Grants Pass today. And in comes P.J. Safford. Safford 1 for 2 in the contest. He flew out to center field in the first, but singled in the third. Ground ball to short, past the diving glove of the shortstop Schmidt, and into center field. And Takini advancing to second. He was on the move at the start of that play, so wound up in there safely with ease. Safford picking up his second base hit of the contest, and now 2 on and nobody out for Ian Meyer. Meyer, the designated hitter, still yet to have an official at-bat today. He's been hit by a pitch, and he scored in that at-bat, or that trip around the bases, I should say, and then he walked in the third. Pitch on the way. Meyer shows bunt. A diving catch made by the pitcher Zamora, turns around and throws out Takini at second. Well, a really good play by Zamora. Not much you can really do about that as Meyer popped up the bunt. Zamora dove to catch it and turn around and got the lead runner. So a 1-6 double play will stifle some of the momentum the Falcons had here in this inning. Runner remains at first. It's P.J. Safford, but now there's 2 away for Corbin Hamilton. And the pitch will skip to the plate and get underneath the glove of Dominguez, roll to the backstop. Safford advances 2 seconds, so suppose you still have a runner in scoring position after all of it, but with 2 outs, changes things a little bit. Now Hamilton's going to need a base hit to score Safford. Second baseman Diotti holding Safford there at second. Not a terribly aggressive lead for PJ out there as the 1-0 pitch is hit on the ground towards third. It gets under the glove of Meek and rolls into left field. Safford rounds third, heads for home. They throw into second, and advancing to second is Corbin Hamilton. And P.J. Safford scoring, making it 7-1 Falcons. And it will bring up Carson Sims. Hamilton gets the single and the RBI on that one. It was a hot shot to third base and just kind of short-hopped Meek's glove over there trying to backhand it, but skated right there by him and into left field. Hamilton advancing to second as well and knocking in a run. The first pitch on the way to Sims. He will take it upstairs for a ball. The count is 1-0. So far in the ballgame, Sims is 1 for 2. He singled in the second and scored, and then he flew out to left. That was in the 4th inning. Falcons lead by 6. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Sims is popped out of play behind first, foul. Count is 1-1. That ball ended up somewhere near the Klamath County Fairgrounds, which is just behind us, which would be to the right side of your screen, as just heard my first bit of thunder. Sounded off to the left side. It's the 1-1 pitch on the way to Sims. Misses high again. Count is 2-1. Like I said, the wind really picking up out there in center field. Unfortunately, you can't get a good view of it, even on the video feed on mybasin.com, but Old Glory really whipping out there in straightaway center field. 385 to straightaway center here at Kiger Stadium. The 2-1 misses high and away. The count 3-1 to Sims. Chase Barrett is on deck for the Falcons. That's the best indication we have of what the wind is doing, is just by looking at that flag. And like I said, gusts probably up close to 20 miles an hour or more now. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Sims. Hit in the air, shallow center field. That's going to drop. They are waving in Hamilton, and he will score with ease. And an RBI single for Carson Sims makes it 8-1 Falcons. He stays put at first. And a nice piece of hitting for Carson brings up Chase Barrett. Sims now 2 for 3 today. That's the second run home this inning for the Falcons, extending their lead, as I said, 8-1. Barrett looking for more. 2 outs in the inning. Barrett is 0 for 1 today. Does have an RBI, though, a sacrifice fly Earned him an RBI in the second inning as he watches ball one miss high and away, 1-0. He also grounded out. That was in the fourth inning. As Barrett settles back in to the right-handed batter's box, 5'8", class of 27 for Henley High School. The 1-0 pitch is hit the opposite way, foul. Count is even now at a ball and a strike. Real dark clouds over the left field fence here at Kiger. Well, really all around. It's a little bit lighter to the right side, but just looks gray and not so fun over there. It's the pitch left away to move over to first. Sims was back safely, has a fairly aggressive lead off of first. Zamora delivers the 1-1 pitch over the heart of the plate for a strike, and Barrett falls behind, 1-2. Max Price is on deck, the leadoff hitter for the Falcons, hoping for a chance here in this fifth frame. Zamora looks in, gets the sign from Dominguez. Dominguez gets it from the first base dugout, delivers it to Zamora, who comes set. Sims on the move on the 1-2, and a ground ball sent to third. Meek up with it on 2 hops. Throw to first is in time for the out, and that will do it in the fifth inning. But the Falcons do score 2 runs on 3 base hits. They leave a runner stranded and go into the sixth. They lead 8-1 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At MyBasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Set for the top of the sixth inning, and we'll check on the line scores. The Falcons lead the Grants Pass Diggers 8-1. For the Falcons, 8 runs on 9 hits. They've committed no errors, and they have left 4 runners on base today. For Grants Pass, 1 run on 6 hits. They've committed 3 errors, and they have also left 4 runners on base today. Due up this half inning for Grants Pass is going to be Blake Zamora, followed by Cruz Carnes and Ryan Glenn. Pitch on the way from Poor is fouled straight back. The count is 0-2. Zamora 1 for 2 today, had an RBI single back in the third inning, otherwise grounded out in the first. As the delivery on the way from Poor. Poor will step off for just a moment before returning to the rubber for the 0-2 pitch. Here it comes, and again, popped foul. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes to Zamora. Like I said earlier, the team's leading hitter tasked with getting the rally started here in the top of the sixth inning. His team down by 7 as he will look at ball 1. It skips to the plate, 1-2. Zamora, along with the rest of the Grants Pass Diggers, products of Grants Pass High School in the Southwest 6A Conference, a highly competitive conference this year, as Zamora swings and misses at the off-speed pitch and goes down on strikes as the first casualty in the sixth inning. Brings up Cruz Carnes for Grants Pass. They finished in a 4-way tie for third place in the Southwest Conference this year, as the pitch is going to be called a strike. With teams that we've also seen, North and South Medford were tied, along with Willamette. All 4 of those teams were 10-8 in league play in the Southwest Conference. As the 0-1 misses below the knees, the count is 1-1 to Cruz Carnes. He's 0 for 2 today, a couple of ground outs in the first and third innings. 1-1 hit sharply back up the middle, and Shively gave good chase, but it winds up in center field. And a ground ball single for Cruz Carnes puts him on board with 1 away in the sixth inning. It'll bring up Ryan Glenn for Grants Pass. Glenn is also 0 for 2 today. He grounded out in the second and fourth innings. Modest lead off of first for Carnes as Poor checks on him before getting ready to deliver the pitch. So that caught a lot of the plate for strike one, about belt high to the first baseman for Grants Pass. Poor agreeable on the 0-1. Corners in, protecting bunt, and the pitch will miss outside. 1-1. Middle infield ready to turn two for the Falcons. Poor with the 1-1. Here it comes. Swing on and missed. 1-2. Even though Grants Pass finished third or tied for third in their conference, they did make it to the postseason. And a big 32-team bracket in the 6A state tournament as the 1-2 skips away from Jacoby Takini behind the plate, rolls to the backstop, allowing Cruz Carnes to advance to second. Man in scoring position for Grants Pass with one away in the top of the sixth inning. Grants Pass made it into the postseason as the number 14 seed. They got to host Lake Ridge in the opening round, a game in which they won 8-0. And advancing to the second round of the playoffs, well, that's where they ran into the 3-seed Central Catholic and got mercy ruled in 5 innings, losing that one 11-0. But still a good showing, making it to the second round of the postseason. The 3-2 pitch will miss outside, and a walk delivered to Ryan Glenn will put 2 men on for Eli Dominguez. Dominguez 0 for 2 today. He grounded out in the second. He struck out in the fourth. As Poor looks in, comes set, and delivers the pitch. And Dominguez checks his swing on the upstairs fastball. Gets ahead 1-0. First time that Grants Pass has had a runner in scoring position since the third inning. That was the inning which they scored their only run. 1-0 pitch on the way from Poor. That one bounces. Oh, thought that was a bit low. Must have missed my perception there. That one got across and in the zone. 1-1 to Eli Dominguez. Skylar Stanislew is on deck for the Diggers. Poor set. Kind of comes set like Clayton Kershaw out there with the glove high above his head and then brings it to his chest before delivering the pitch. It missed inside. Takini throws down to second to try to get Carnes, but he's back safely, and the count is 2-1. Poor's got the look of old rookie Kershaw, too, with the long hair and the attitude of him out there on the mound. Guess I hadn't pieced that together. The 2-1 is fouled back. Count is even 2-2 to Eli Dominguez. Of course, Poor's the right-handed thrower. Clayton Kershaw was a lefty, but as far as I can tell, that's the only difference I see so far. Comes set, 2-2. Here it comes. Bouncer back to the mound. Poor comes off the hill, knocks it down, but can't come up with it cleanly. And everybody is safe. Carnes to third, Glenn to second, and Dominguez aboard at first on the infield single. Tough ball for anyone to get to. Like I said, Poor came off the mound to try and make that play on the backhand, just couldn't come up with it cleanly. And so now Stanislew bats with the bases loaded and 1 out. Stanislew 2 for 2 today, so Grants Pass, in their mind, has the right guy up in the right spot. At least so far this game, he's seen Poor well, but he comes up empty on the first pitch, swing and a miss. The count is 0-1. Wind continuing to pick up here in Klamath Falls. Well, my weather app is not accurately telling me what these gusts of wind are at right now, but they are fierce. Kicking up dirt in the infield and moving my camera around tied to the backstop here at Kiger. The 1-1 is a ground ball out towards short. Shively goes to Takini for one. The back end, the Falcons got him. 6-4-3 double play leaves him loaded for Grants Pass in the top of the sixth. The Falcons maintain their 7-run advantage as we go to the bottom half next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Well, we get set for the bottom of the sixth inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. It is an 8-1 ball game here at Kiger Stadium in Klamath Falls. And leading off this inning for the Falcons is going to be Max Price, Connor Shively, and Jacoby Tacchini. Timeout is called. And what do we got? I think we're trying to decide if we're about to go into a lightning delay or not. I think everyone is trying to decide, did we see lightning or did we not see lightning off behind first base somewhere in the parking lot? We got everyone pointing different directions. It's pretty close from what we can tell. Last we heard, it's about a mile away, so we're going to keep playing right now. The rain starting to sprinkle a little bit. It felt it a little bit, but we're ready to go. As the pitch is going to miss low to Max Price. He gets ahead 1-0. So far today, Max is 3 for 3. Singled in the first, second, and doubled in the fourth. Pitch there misses low. The count is 2-0 to Price. Had an RBI on his single in the second inning as well. Then you've got Shively and Jacoby Tacchini, as I stated earlier. 2-0 pitch on the way from Zamora. Hit in the air towards center field. Wind swirling it around out there, but the right fielder Stanislaw hung with it and makes the catch for the first out in the sixth inning. Again, weather really close to becoming a serious factor in this one, I think. We'll do our best to keep you posted on it as I've been doing so far, but that lightning moving ever closer. I think maybe the goal right now is to try and wrap this one up and assess before starting the second leg of a doubleheader tonight. The first pitch to Shively is grounded towards short. Schmidt, it eats him up, and that's going to rattle into center field. And another flash across the sky. I think that will probably do it for now. And that seems to be the case as everybody is evacuating the field after that ground ball in the infield. We're going to step aside real briefly, and then we'll square you up for what comes next. So stick around with us for just another brief moment here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. Right now the score is 8-1, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Well, we're here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and we have entered a lightning delay on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. In the bottom of the 6th inning, the Klamath Falls Falcons lead Grants Pass 8-1. Timer started a few minutes ago. Got to wait 30 minutes until there's no more lightning. We don't quite know when that's going to be, so what we're going to do is step aside for a little bit of an elongated break here. What we're going to do is, if you're listening on the radio on 104.3 and 960 Sports, we're just going to turn you back over to Fox Sports Radio and listen to the guys there for a short while before we welcome you back to Kiger Stadium. For those of you on MyBasin.com, I am going to turn off the camera. You can stay on the very same link. Going to make sure that we stay out of the rain for a moment. So you're going to see a black screen. I'll leave the scoreboard up. When you see the camera come back on, then you know that we'll be back and ready for baseball. Again, unsure when exactly that'll be. Leave the volume up on your phone, your tablet, your TV. I'll pop on and keep you updated on when we might come back. I'll be on every, few minutes just to leave you some updates on if we head into a second delay or what the case might be. So stick with us as we go into a lightning delay here from Kiger Stadium. The Falcons lead Grants Pass 8-1 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Well, Josh Eldridge welcomes you back to Falcons baseball. It's going to be a short welcome back, as we just got told that this weather delay is going to last quite some time, so much so that Game 1 has gone final, and Klamath Falls with an 8-1 victory against Grants Pass. Game 2 has been postponed to a later date. So as we wrap things up for you tonight from Kiger Stadium, want to give you the final line scores for the game. For Grants Pass, 1 run on 6 hits. They commit 3 errors. For Klamath Falls, 8 runs on 9 hits. They commit no errors. The winning pitcher is Hayden Poor, who pitched 6 innings, giving up 8 hits, 1 run. It's earned. He walked 1 and struck out 2. The losing pitcher is Grants Pass Blake Zamora, who pitched 5 1/3 innings, giving up 9 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned. He walked 2 and struck out none. This win for Klamath Falls improves them to 18-4-1 on the season. They are 8-1 in league play. Grants Pass falls to 4-13, 0-11 in conference play. As I said, Game 2 of what was scheduled to be a doubleheader tonight will be made up at a later date, and we are in an indefinite weather delay tonight. The Klamath Falls Falcons are back in action tomorrow in Medford, taking on Cascade Christian for a noon single 9 ball game, and that's where we'll be next on 104.3 and 960 Sports. And to keep this one brief, want to thank everybody briefly before we head off the air, both head coaches for being fantastic, and Mike Safford, our public address announcer and official score score for making sure that we've got everything lined up, presented to you on the broadcast the right way. Final score, 8-1, and Klamath Falls Falcons back to winning ways against the Grants Pass Diggers. My name is Josh Eldridge. Thank you so much for joining us on mybasin.com and 104.3 and 960 Sports. We'll see you soon.